for stopping by. Today I'm going to try to teach you how to play The Way on piano. Let's start with the intro, which is going to go something like this. And then we'll go into the song like this. Alright, that'll get us into the tune. First, let's get set up. Let's get our hands in the right places so we can play. Put your thumb of your left hand on C. Now you can reach the notes that you're going to need for these two chords. And then put your middle finger on C, an octave up. Okay? So we can do this very easily without moving our hand. We're going to be playing C, B flat, E flat, C, B flat. Okay? And while we play that, we're going to play an A flat chord, which is like that, E flat, A flat, C, and then you're going to move to a D major 7 chord, which is the pinky down to D flat. The other fingers stay where they were, so you've got D flat, A flat, and C. And you're going to play it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as you're playing those two chords, you're going to go to C, B flat, E flat, C, B flat. And then you're going to have to move down. Now you see that thumb right there? Once you finish that melody, take your thumb to C and then move down to A flat, way down here, A flat, because you're going to have to do this, like that. Now let's do that whole thing, and I'm going to show you how to get down there. Okay, here we go. You see that? Okay? And that's how we're going to move. When you're here, you can use the C as a marker to get your hand down here. What you want to do when you strike that last note of that melody, you want to press down your sustain pedal, let it go, and then move down to C. So you've got that sustain pedal. See that? Okay. That's how we're going to get down there. Okay, now that we know how to make the transition from the intro into that break melody, let's learn the break melody. It's going to go something like this. We're going to play an A flat on the low end on that last chord, or like that. Okay, now what we did there was C, E flat, A flat, and then the chord, which is an E flat chord. That E flat chord is B flat, E flat, G. And on the left hand, you're going to play an A flat with that chord. So this is what you got. One more time. And right after that, you're going to go into the verse chords. Now the verse chords are D flat, which is D flat, F, A flat, C minor, which is C, E flat, G, like that. So we're going to strike each chord twice, just like that. Okay? So that was D flat twice and C minor twice. Now on the left side, as we play those notes, we're going to be playing B flat, E flat, like that. So we're going to strike D flat, E flat, just like that. So here we go. And then we're going to move to our C minor chord and go back down to A flat and strike it twice with that chord. Okay, so here it goes. D flat with the B flat, D flat with an E flat on the left, and then C minor with an A flat on the left. So this is what we have. That's the first half of our progression. The second half is going to be C twice, and then A flat twice, like that. So we've got C, E, G, and then C, E flat, A flat, like that. And on the bass side, we're going to be playing C with the left hand, E, and then F as we do the A flat chord, just like that. So the second half is alright. Now right after that we're going to do our break melody, which was, as you can see, now we're starting to repeat parts. Alright, let's do that whole thing. Here we go. Starting with the D flat chord and a B flat note on the bass. Here we go. Then we go to C. Then we do our break melody. And then we start over again. After that, we're going to do a lead-in melody on the left hand, which is B flat, B, C, and then we start our next row of chords. Alright. So let's do the entire thing. Now the first time you do the progression without the lead-in bass. You don't do that the first time. Second time around, you add that in. And then you play your C chord. So when you strike the bass lead in, you're going to have to strike it this way. You're going to strike that first note and quickly strike the second two. Okay, so you're going to go B flat, B, C, like that. And then you're going to go to your C. Alright, now let's do the entire thing. Let's go through the whole thing slowly. Starting with D flat, or a D flat chord on the right, and on the left a B flat note. Here it goes. Your lead in, bass, and then occasionally you're going to go back to your break melody here for the break, which is the same as the intro. Alright, and that is about it, folks. That's all you're going to need to play The Way by Ariana Grande and Mac Miller. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day.